AITA for not letting my elder daughter have my younger's wedding dress? Plus update. Op is you, Amethyst 46. Original post. AITA for not letting my elder daughter have my younger's wedding dress? Names have been changed. I'm 55 and Amelia is 32. My husband and I have 2 daughters, Opal and Amelia. Opal and her fiancé Jack passed away 4 years ago. Her wedding dress had been bought and my baby never got to wear it. I kept the dress. I don't look at it much anymore, but it's just one of those things that remind me of her. And also Jack, who I viewed as my son. Amelia is getting married to Liam. She asked me if she could have Opal's dress. She said she loves the style, design and wants to tweak it a bit to better match her tastes. I said no. Amelia told me that Opal didn't wear it so no one's seen it. And I can't keep it in a corner gathering dust forever. I've insisted no multiple times and that Amelia can get her own dress. Maybe similar to Opal's design, but she can't have this one. Amelia said life is for the living and I'm making things harder for her. She offered to pay and buy it from me, but I still refuse. It seemed like Amelia understood. But this past weekend our family and Liam's family went to dinner. His mom pulled me aside and said that Amelia is upset about this whole thing and the wedding planning is already difficult, so I could compromise and make it a bit easier for her by giving her the dress. Now I'm thinking if I really am being unreasonable. My husband thinks I'm in the right, but some third-party opinions would be nice. Update. AITA for not letting my elder daughter have my younger's wedding dress? I replied to a few comments and some people said I should edit it in. But it went over the word limit so I couldn't. I will link all my replies. First comment. Opal's dress was custom made from a local boutique that closed down during the pandemic. Amelia likes the design, which will be very expensive to recreate from somewhere else now. We've had multiple discussions about this and I've said that she's welcome to use Opal's dress as a reference to get a similar one. But she insisted she'll just take this one and tweak it to her liking. As mentioned in the post, her reasoning is that Opal never wore it and no one will know it was hers. So it's okay for her to wear it. Second comment. I'd love if we got more info. Amelia has never told me she wants the dress for sentimental reasons. She said Opal never wore it and no one's seen it. So it's okay if she wears it. We've had multiple discussions on this topic and Amelia said that I'm playing favorites and life is for the living, which I'll be honest hurt me a bit. As far as their relationship went, Opal and Amelia got along well enough most of the time. Amelia's boyfriend at the time lost his job and here Opal was getting engaged and planning a wedding and all that. Jack was an attorney. Opal was finishing up med school. And Amelia felt they were trying to one-up her. Opal called Amelia's boyfriend disgusting and some other names which made the situation worse. My husband and I were contributing to Opal's wedding. We said we would offer X amount to both our daughters for their weddings. And we had to lower it to help Amelia out a bit. Amelia was upset after their deaths but went through it at her pace and came to terms with it. We never really discussed it much. If that makes sense. I felt we were all just healing in our own time. Amelia has made it clear though that she thinks we're holding on to the past. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. Third comment. She said I'm playing favorites because I'm not prioritizing her, and intentionally making things harder when giving her the dress would get one thing checked off the list. I would like to say that my husband and I were equal to both daughters. But the truth is we weren't. It doesn't mean we loved one more than the other. But this is just what it was like. We paid for Amelia's college fully. Opal got a fraction of that. When they were teenagers, Amelia wouldn't do her chores to go out with her friends. We never told her off for it and Opal would do her share and Amelia's. When Opal got her first job, She saved up for a long time to buy these expensive earrings. Amelia saw it, wanted it, and the next day we went and bought the same pair for her. Even for Jack and Opal's wedding, as I mentioned. We were going to contribute X amount but took some of it back to help out Amelia. Things like this. Opal never said anything to us about any of this. Although now looking back I can see this was completely unfair. I will be honest. I feel like I let her down her entire life. So I would like to keep the dress not just as a memory, but also like a, see, this one thing is truly for you. So this is what the prioritizing means. That I'm not helping out Amelia now and prioritizing Opal, who's no longer with us. Fourth comment. Info. How come you have the dress? Did you take it or are you the one who bought it? Jack bought it for Opal as her wedding gift. I asked Jack's mom if she wanted it, but she declined and told me to keep it. Thank you for your kind words. Even if people had different opinions, most of the replies were kind and understanding. Sorry if the title was confusing, as I saw some comments misunderstanding the ages. Amelia is my elder daughter. She's 32 and Opal would have been 30. Also, some people were asking about how they passed. I don't want to go into details, but it wasn't accident or I sighed. Last night Amelia came over and we had a long heart-to-heart discussion about everything. In relation to not only the dress but me and my husband's treatment of both Amelia and Opal in the past, and the effects of it. I wasn't sure if Liam's mom talked to me on her own accord or if Amelia had told her to. I asked Amelia and she said that she talked to her about all of it. And Liam's mom agreed that her having the dress would make things easier. She suggested speaking to me about it and Amelia agreed. But Amelia herself didn't ask Liam's mom to talk. I told her that if she wishes to wear Opal's dress without making any sort of tweaks, outside of tailoring to fit, I will let her borrow it. Amelia didn't agree, as she's mentioned that she wants to alter it to fit her tastes. There were a few things that were brought up. I explained to her that our treatment of her and Opal were unequal when the girls were growing up, which was a parenting issue on our part and we'll fully take the blame. But she's not a child anymore. Amelia listened. She said that that's irrelevant because Opal and her had different personalities and different needs. I asked Amelia if the reason she wanted the dress is a monetary time issue or if there are any other reasons behind it, and to be open with me. She said outside of that, she views the dress as a sort of grand gesture Jack made about his love for Opal, spending a lot of money for her custom gown. She told me that she wouldn't have asked for the dress if they were still alive, or if only one of them had died. Liam won't be buying a dress like this for her, so she can use the romantic sentiment behind it for her and Liam's love now, as neither Jack nor Opal are with us. So by extension any trace of their relationship is also gone. I will be honest that this didn't sit right with me at all. I did stand behind my decision that she can't have Opal's dress. Amelia agreed and said that she'll start looking around at dress shops. And I offered to come along with her if she wishes. Amelia has made it clear that she thinks that I should be over it by now. But she has accepted that not everything will go her way, and importantly, she won't be getting the dress. Overall, our talk ended positively enough, with a lot of deep conversation. This ended up being quite a long post, but I wanted to answer some of the questions that people had, and also include a bit of the conversation I had with Amelia. Again, thank you for your replies and messages. Op has deleted their account, and including their posts and comments, I recovered the comments through Untit. Her husband isn't romantic, so she wanted a dress from a romantic relationship? Sounds weird. I still don't get Amelia reasoning behind it. You want the dress not because it's a piece of your sister you can keep with you in one of the most important days of your life, But because it's this huge monetary gesture that your Bill did and that your future husband won't do? Seriously? I give this marriage 2 years. 3 years max. Don't think her reason was the real one. Amelia wants it because she's jealous Opal got to have a custom gown paid for by Jack. Whereas Liam won't. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't end like the post about the daughter stealing her mom's dress and then cutting it apart to make her own. I'm glad Amelia accepted she won't get the dress. But she needs to learn you can't dictate how long it takes someone to be over the death of a loved one, much less their child. I get the worst feeling that Amelia's seemingly quick acceptance means that dress is gonna go for a walk when mom isn't looking. I still cannot comprehend Amelia's reason for wanting the dress. I want to know why Opal called Amelia's fiancé disgusting. This marriage sounds doomed regardless. She views the dress as a sort of grand gesture Jack made about his love for Opal. Did she maybe have a crush on Jack? It sounds like Amelia wants everything Opal has tbh. Especially from this part from OOP's comment. I would like to say that my husband and I were equal to both daughters. But the truth is we weren't. It doesn't mean we loved one more than the other. But this is just what it was like. We paid for Amelia's college fully. Opal got a fraction of that. When they were teenagers, Amelia wouldn't do her chores to go out with her friends. We never told her off for it and Opal would do her share and Amelia's. When Opal got her first job, she saved up for a long time to buy these expensive earrings. Amelia saw it, wanted it, and the next day we went and bought the same pair for her. Even for Jack and Opal's wedding, as I mentioned. We were going to contribute X amount but took some of it back to help out Amelia. Things like this. Amelia wants Opal's custom-made dress that her husband got for her because her fiancé was never going to give her the same gesture of love. That's what happens when you spoil one of your children and treat the other like Cinderella. Never got the obsession with both having to take your best friend's, sister's, mother's dress and also tweaking it. Just get a new dress if you want to change it. Or STFU. Does this post scream missing reason, or is that just me? Not an accident or a suicide? Were they murdered? This is so confusing. I think the cause of their deaths must have some bearing here. Amelia seems to believe 1. It's okay Amelia was treated better than Opal, as Amelia is special. 2. She wants her dead sister's custom-made dress because it's easier and will help check an item off her to-do list, but also 2a. She wants the dress because her dead sister's fiancé made a romantic gesture and her fiancé won't. 3. Didn't ask her FMIL to intercede but didn't stop her when she knew FMIL was going to. Which is effectively the same as wanting her to. 4. Was offered to use the dress unaltered but that wasn't good enough. 5. Told her mother she should be over her daughter's death already. I don't see this marriage lasting, or if it does they will be one of those super toxic couples that assume they keep losing friends because everyone else is jealous of them. Amelia has made it clear that she thinks that I should be over it by now. That's not how losing a child works. You never get over it. Oop has to be an unreliable narrator. There's no way anyone is this lacking in empathy. Her replies just make Amelia look more and more appalling and self-centered. Reducing the unique wedding dress that her daughter never got to wear to her wedding as a thing off her checklist? Does she see her sister as competition, even in death? It took grief counseling and several years to get over the loss of my stillborn son. And he never lived. I don't know if I could ever get over the loss of my living child. Amelia is coming off as really cold. Is it just me, or does this update make things more confusing and weird? Her reasons behind getting the dress is so stupid and sad at the same time. She need to marry a man who would made a lovely gestures for her and she do the same for him. Sounds like Amelia has issues. Either she is just entitled and absolutely lacking empathy, or there is more to it. Liam won't be buying a dress like this for her, so she can use the romantic sentiment behind it for her and Liam's love now, as neither Jack nor Opal are with us. Sounds like the issue is more in her own relationship with her partner. She seems jealous of what Opal and Jack had before they passed away because Liam is not as good to her. This may be because he can't afford a dress like that, which would be more entitlement issues on Amelia's part, or because he doesn't want to buy her one. Either because their relationship sucks or because he thinks it's unneeded to spend so much on a dress worn once. At any rate, it seems like Amelia and Liam have some trouble, and Amelia tried to patch some of that up by getting that dress, which would have never worked anyway. So I'm not sure if just Amelia is the issue or if Liam is also not exactly a great partner. But the fact alone that Amelia thinks that Op should be over Opal's death is harrowing. I lost my older sister, too, and my mother never recovered from losing her daughter. Why would you want a dress that symbolizes a grand gesture of love to someone else? So much of this just didn't sit right with me. I feel like we're missing a lot of information.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.